People, peoples enjoy this pretty background in the mountain. I don't know where this place is, but I am using this background to relax and take a break. I am doing a paper today, and I was playing some games and things for break, and I wanted to do a feelings check-in. Um, I talked somewhat about it in my last Final Fantasy leveling up video, but I've been feeling like unmotivated because of skipping some days of medication and not on purpose, just lack of picking it up. And before I get started, I want to say I do videos where I'm playing games, feelings check ins. Mental health is my passion. I like to talk about having ADHD, being a mental health care coordinator, conversating in general, getting my master's in social work, things like that. Um, and yeah, like I just wanted to do this feelings check in. I also I want to use this for people to get to know me and what I go through and just be encouraged by, what I go through and just feel like you're living life and alongside someone who is also struggling. So, um, I am, I have been struggling with motivation today and with this paper that I've had to do, because of lack of medication in my system. So this medication is important for my serotonin, and I do not have enough of serotonin in my head. So yeah. So it's Saturday. Um, I am in a better place than I was a couple hours ago because I was trying to do a feelings check-in, and I was so tired, y'all. Like I was so exhausted. I couldn't cope, and kept trying to go like, okay, all I can do is write the paper bit by bit. So I started it and then got frustrated by something and then just spiraled and was praying about it. It's like, Lord, please get me through this. Please help me write this paper. And it's been going well so far. I was just in a full funk. I was like, this is stupid. And the thing is, this is not the worst funk I've ever been in. It's literally solely because of lack of serotonin in my brain. So, before I took medicines, I used to be like a really sad person. Like, my baseline, I feel like people have dispositions and baselines that are pretty normal and pretty stable. Where the basics, like at the end of the day, if you've had a relatively good day or if most of the day was good, most people say I had a good day. Um, I used to never ever say that. Like, no day was a good day. And I didn't think that was irregular. I thought it was just like I'm just a sad person. And I didn't know how not normal it was. But now that I'm on medicines, when I started my first medicine, they raised my baseline up, and I didn't know that I had other issues like ADHD and mood regulation until later. I got diagnosed like a year or two ago. And I'm not saying that ADHD is like the worst diagnosis in the world and um, or anything, but I talk about mine so much because mine put me in spirals where I didn't want to be here anymore. Like I dealt with those kinds of thoughts every day, if not every other day, like quite frequently. My burnout was awful. My dopamine was shifted in a dramatic way. Like my moods were not stable. I just, I would spiral and not know how to get up from them. I just felt like the world was always falling in on me. I felt like I was walking on a thread, but now that I'm more medicated, I I knew when I felt more stable, I knew I wanted to do something like this, where I was putting out videos or trying to encourage people going through the same thing, um, talking about this kind of thing, I um, think that it's beneficial to have these kinds of struggles, because when I was struggling, I wanted so desperately to find someone who went through the same things that I went through. But we're all individuals, and no one goes through the same things we go through in the same way. Like, I just remember thinking, no one knows the extent of my pain. No one will ever know. Most people, and I had to accept, like, most people are never going to know what this feels like. And that sounds dramatic, but my pain, it was deep. Like, it was something else. Like, I have not felt that way for a long time. But at that time, it was something else. Like, it shaped me as a person for a long time. It it made my outlook. Like, if you're being alone, like, shoot, you can look at studies on it, like being in social isolation, people who are in solitary confinement for not a very long amount of time. You can look it up yourself, but just for a short amount of time, getting hallucinations and delusions, like thinking they're hearing things, losing their mind, because we're social people and we need people. And when I was so lonely, and when I would spend days alone, um, that kind of thing, I believe it changed something. That kind of thing is not healthy, and it really did change me. It made me, like, I understood social gauges as something that I needed, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna get it naturally, so I have to figure out how to get it another way. Like, I was like, okay, well, I just will get it through work. And I got a little of it from work, I got some of it from church, but it wasn't enough. And I talk about loneliness, and yeah, loneliness has a social gauge to it, but loneliness is also a feeling that can come even when you're around people. There's different kinds of loneliness, but mine did come from being alone, and it made me think, well, I have to find ways to fill my social gauge, and um, like, you know, I had friends, and when I made friends, I'd be like, okay, I'm here for them. I'm just going to do everything for them so they don't leave. But then later I realized, like, okay, well, now that I have close best friends, so, it's like I want to, I want as well. Like, I want them to see me as well, like I see them and will do for them. And I mean, I say all that to say that was a tangent, but that's how I used to be. Um, and compared to now, it's so vastly different. And that was only like I'm 30 now. That was like when I was 24, 25, 26, 27. Like those years, and I got better and better. But yeah, it was super hard. And now things are better, and so trying to see what my point was. So, I'm sorry. Sometimes I go into tangents about past things because I want to tell stories about them and connect them to now. And I want to encourage people who, like, I really want to reach out to all sorts. People who are going through what I'm going through now, and people who went through what I went through back then, and um, just what the struggles that I go through now are more practical, more solvable. Sorry, more solvable, I think. And just like what I'm going through now with school and with lack of serotonin, it's really nothing. It's nothing compared to what it was before. Um, it's a lot better, and but I talked about before, just in my last video, like things you can do to get through it, and I think, like, one thing I was saying was just getting through it by doing at least one self care thing. And that's what I'm gonna try to do. Like, I don't know if I'll succeed, but like one self care thing, like cleaning up the trash, um, doing my hair, whatever self care thing needs to get done. Like, I need to press my hair. I've been needing to press my hair for a minute, but but um but yeah, and I'm just taking these breaks in between um getting stuff done, and I have to. I know that I'm older than, well, I'm kind of, I'm seasoned. Like, I mean, like, I have been doing this for a minute, having mental issues. I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. That is so loud. But I've had ups and downs that I've dealt with, and have had to, and with lack of mood stabilization, have had to cope, find ways to cope and get through it. Have had to go, like, okay, I need to do one thing. I need to figure out how to do this, even if I am dragging myself. Like when I was most depressed, like I have to get through this day. I have to do it, even if I have to do the bare minimum, even at work. Like, I talked about it before, how when I was at my worst, super depressed, like I used to just, I had like a week of just taking off days, like, I mean, like cutting days short. And I remember my supervisor at the time said, well, this is not sustainable. And I was like, yeah. And that's when you're right, it isn't. So that's when I had to go to my big boss and go, like, hey, if y'all don't think I can do this job, and they said, yeah, we do think you can do this job, let me think of ways I can accommodate you. And I'm very blessed for that. And she's not there anymore, but that's the frustrating thing, like the changes in management, where I'm like, okay, I've got to go through this whole rigmarole again with another supervisor about my mental health, about what I go through. Here we go. And um, it's hard. It's hard having these ups and downs, and these situations, and you have to just, I mean, I was able to get through the week this week, and now I just got to get through the weekend, um, and get this paper done. I don't have too much of it left to do, I don't think. And then I have a couple other assignments that need to be done. And I take medicine that helps me to focus, like not let my um, depression and things get in the way of these things. But it's still, it doesn't make it easy. It's just like it is better whenever it's like, oh, okay, well, I got through this part, and I got through my group project, and now I got to do my evaluation, and which takes a minute, and I got to do my homework, and I just wanted to take a break and talk it out, and just when I could sit and stop and talk about it. And I like encourage other people to do this too, just whether it be through writing or doing something like this or talking to someone, or doing something with your hands, like something like that, so that you can go, like, oh, I'm sorry if it sounds where I'm like rocking back and forth, but something like that, so that you can go, like, okay, well, all right, what are we doing next? Or what's the one thing we're doing? And like, blessings. And I'm so grateful, you know, thankful for you if you do not have school. Because if you have school, the thing that you have to think about is your homework, and how am I going to get through this homework? How am I going to get these assignments in and get them done? Um, I need to get them done. I need to. Ooh, sorry. I need to get this stuff done. I need to think. I need to strategize how to get through this. And a lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people just choose, like, they're like, hey, I can't get through school. And I just told myself I'd get through it and turn these assignments in no matter what. And I've been doing okay in school. I haven't been doing great, but I've been doing okay enough. And that's what I'm thankful for. Um, so that's the goal for the rest of the day. It's just trying to get through these things. Like, I've got to finish my evaluation. I've got to finish not the whole paper, but most of it. I've got to have it mostly put together so I can turn it in. And yeah, that's all I got to do. And then I have like those 2 discussions to do. Sometimes things feel bigger than they are, and I have to like see as I'm talking about this. It's like we're like, well, you really don't have that much. Like, you don't have kids or anything, which I'm so blessed for. I'm so thankful because, well, the thing is, yes, I am thankful for that, but at the same time, like I said before, during the work week, it's easier to not focus on any kind of feelings of low motivation because sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, sometimes it is because you're distracted and you're not to in you know in your own head. And sometimes I am more in my own head, like when I'm alone. um and I think like, oh, like, I mean, I've talked to friends about this. It's like, if you sometimes when you have more things to occupy yourself and it's not all about you, um you can put yourself aside, and sometimes that's not easy to do, but it gives you something that you don't have when, as opposed to not having kids or not being married. It gives you something, it gives you a reason, a purpose, and that's powerful. That's a powerful thing. And that's why I like to do this channel. And that's why I say, like, I would say, like, oh, if you're a single woman, if you're a single man, if you're just out here living life, anyone can follow if you have these issues. But I'm more specialized to people who are, I've got more experience being single because I've never dated before and never been with anyone. But like I that's why I do this, kind of content, because I want people who are going through that to remember, like, that they're important too. Like, just because you don't have that, that that kind of purpose. You still have purpose, but like that kind of purpose, the world, they uphold that kind of purpose, and it's a great honor to be a part of. But it shouldn't be upheld, like, it shouldn't be given this kind of like, oh, if you don't have it, you don't have purpose, you're not fulfilling your purpose. That's not true. um I don't believe it's true. I don't know if other people have beliefs that believe it's true. Like, even in my beliefs, that is not true as a Christian. um I've kind of gotten to a point where I can talk a little about that, and let me take a sip of my drink. I've kind of gotten to a point where I was like, I need to find someone, I need to find a guy, I need to find a man. But I kind of got to a point where I don't feel that way at this moment. I feel like my full focus is on, and that might change, and that would bother me. Like, I would talk to a friend about it because I would pray about it. I'm like, well, Lord, does that mean I'm not supposed to be getting married or anything? Like, what does that mean? Like, am I supposed to be alone? And, you know, because I think I have prayed before for the desire to be taken away, and I don't know exactly what it means, and if the desire is fully taken away, but my brain, I think I have this understanding. I have this understanding that the Lord has brought me to this point. He takes care of me. I don't feel or have the desire to, because I used to, because I'm like, well, it's just me out here. I need someone else helping me. Like, it's hard to be just one person living life. I need someone else, but like, other people, other people are with people, and life is harder for them. And I have a friend that tells me that, like, you can still be alone and be with someone, but at the same time, it is a different kind of reality. And yeah, like, that's some of what I wanted to talk about too, because that's why I like to use this to talk, because it is hard when you don't always have someone to complain to, or to go like, hey, I'm feeling this way, or someone to just be right there to motivate you, and you have to motivate yourself. And that's literally why I pray about it. Like, ooh, sorry, let me take a sip of my water. That's why I pray about it, because um when I don't know what to do, it's the Lord who, like, when I told that story about how I had a spiral about my last assignment a couple weeks ago, and I just felt this impression that was like, just one thing at a time, just one thing at a time. You know what to do. It's the same this time. Like, I didn't feel that same thing, but after a while, I was able to just get back up, and I mean, I already know what to do. So bit by bit, and even if you know, don't pray, like, you can find ways to cope. You can find, because I've can't say that you know it's always possible. It might be harder in different ways. Um, but I don't have much to say with that, but it's really something that, like, getting back to the other thing, that's why, the desire kind of went away in a different way. Like, I don't feel this longing or need to be married or anything, or be with someone, um, because of that. And I really, I'm at the age, like, sometimes you just get to an age where you're like, I already know. Like, I know how to take care of myself. And, you hear me talking about having ADHD. And when I say I know how to take care of myself, it doesn't mean that I know how to be on top of everything. Those are two different things in my mind. I know how to be okay. The Lord makes sure that I'm okay, for one thing, and I just have the knowledge. To I know how to kind of cope with situations, and kind of get around situations when I feel a certain way. Like with this, um, I know what to do. And I talk about that workbook. That's what it's made for too. I know what to do. Like, I know to think about things that I'm thankful for. I know to pray about it. I know to tell a friend if it comes to that, which I did tell a friend, but it's not like it's come to the place where I'm like, oh, please help me. I know um, to do what I can, uh, get a treat or something, um, take my medicines, get back acclimated. If it gets bad enough, which I hope it doesn't, like, letting my teachers know what's going on. And I used to hate doing stuff like that, but I have gotten to the point where I've turned assignments in late before, when it comes to my depression. But yeah, and I just wanted to talk about that. Maybe it might encourage someone. I really hope it does, but I really enjoy talking through it and helping myself, and hopefully encouraging other people too. It's really important to me. It's hard because when you're in the feeling, you're in the feeling. Like the feeling's not going away. Like it's just you're getting through the feeling. You're getting through it with knowledge and you know with what you know, like having gone through it before, and with advice from other people like me, like advice being like just understanding that you are getting through it and that there are ways and tricks to like get things done. And if you can't just lay down all day, which I really want to do, I'm so tired. I really just want to lay down all day and be on the phone, and I'll do that sometimes, but then I'll get back up and go like, okay, well now I got to get up and get this work done. But I just wanted to talk about that. I think I'm going to be playing games for a break and like recording as well. So thank you to anyone who is listening, and uh, yes, please subscribe, please like, please comment. I hope my pain can be used to encourage people and uh, or my discomfort. But I thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon.